Hello, hello. What it do, what it is. How's everybody been? I know I've been absent for a little bit. Let me get everything set up here. Hopefully tonight's setup is gonna work a little bit better than some of the other ones we've had. We'll see. Can't guarantee, you know what I'm saying? But this is a new little kind of thing for me. I'm gonna see how this works. See how close I can get to this camera without knocking into it. Oh, look, I'm already hitting stuff. Alright, man, so, am I hitting it? Yeah, I'm hitting it. So, as you can see, we have another issue of Nostalgia Night going on tonight, and this is what issue is this? Let's see, hold on. This is issue 113, February. Oh, let's see if I can get it focused. Nope. Anyway, it's issue 113, February 1998. Resident Evil 2, Tekken 3, 1, Strategies, Tomb Raider, and MK Mythology. Seems like there was a trend back then that some of the games magazines just constantly put out the same reviews, even months later. You know what I mean? So that's a little weird. First look at new hidden Tekken 3 characters. And Resident Evil 2 apparently was just now coming out at the time. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it. You guys let me know how the lighting's going to work for us tonight too. See if this is going to work out. You know how it works. If it doesn't focus into enough, then I'll bring it closer so we can read it. This is just an NHL Breakaway 1998 for the Nintendo 64. If you've watched any of these before, you already know I'm not big into sports games. So, oh, look at this. Final Fantasy Tactics. A lot of people say this was one of the better Tactics games. Like, this was the one that they actually enjoyed over Tactics Ogre. I actually like Tactics Ogre a little bit more, to be honest. Is that Vanilla Ice? I've jumped 40-foot gaps. Oh no. Why did I think that was Vanilla Ice for a second? Just because of the guy behind him, you know, I mean the way he looks right here in this picture. It must be some snowboarding guy. Nagano Winter Olympics. Duke. We always get a Duke Nukem ad. We've had one in like every magazine for a while now. Still a pretty good game. It was a good game. It was fun. Pitfall 3D. I remember the original Pitfall from Atari. The point of the journey is to not arrive, is not to arrive. Look how sexually innuendo that is. Haven't you always wanted to do it on the kitchen table? Quake. Quake was coming out. That was a good game. Even more, look. Have you ever done it in the water? Are you any good on the billiards table? Do you find the backyard enticing? It's very, you know what I mean? In between the lines. Alright, this is kind of the meat and bones of it right here. This is just the little opening part that tells you what's mainly in this particular one. Donkey Kong Land 2. The Zelda 64. I don't even think that's what it was originally named. I mean, eventually it was named something else other than Zelda 64, right? Oh, look, there's a Breath of Fire. Is there a Breath of Fire 3 strategy guide in here? Because that would be badass, because I have that game and I've been meaning to find a new one, a new strategy guide for that, but I haven't had a chance to. More snowboarding stuff. Must have been the Winter Olympics type stuff. What's up, Ariel? I appreciate that. Thank you. How's your night going? Hacked locally, kill globally on HeatNet. Second place in ranked Night Fighter. That's a very disturbing quote, if that's what he really said. Man, this was back when freaking internet fighting was just now starting to come up, the local fighting stuff. It's like another fighting game for the Star Wars franchise. We've covered a lot of this stuff in some of these older magazines. I'm ready for some stuff to start changing. Like, when was the new stuff dropping? It seems like every month wasn't new enough. Like, every 6 months they would start having different stuff. Oh, look at the estimated sales for the US through January 1998. Sega was at 2.5 million. Nintendo Game Boy was at 20 million, 20 plus. The handheld system was outdoing everything back in the 90s. I guess that mobile gaming thing was really enticing, you know what I'm saying? Just some Q&A from like customers to devs and stuff like that, and developers, to see what they had to say. They pick and choose which questions they want to answer. Skull Monkeys. I kind of feel like I remember this game, but not all the way. I'm not sure about this one. It's advertisement for the Mad Catz wheel and pedal, available on the Nintendo 64 with built-in force pack. In case you were one of those racing fans back in the day. This looks like some more Q&A stuff or something, maybe like that. I don't get into all that as much as I like reading the reviews about certain games, you know what I'm saying? But that's how you know I never opened these things, or I never tore anything out. This is one of the original mail-in coupons for getting more things. Let me hold this down for a second. I gotta flip a few pages before there's enough weight for it to stay down. Looks like there was a Wing Commander movie coming out at some point in time. I wonder if that ever dropped. Spawn the Eternal. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. You guys know I'm a huge Spawn fan, right? Oh, let's see if we can zoom in on this. Look how crude it looked. That was him facing the Violator. Ultima Online. Dude, could you imagine this? Could you imagine this being MMOs? Like, think of New World that just came out, right? Think of New World. And now look at this. Even for those characters predisposed toward fighting, there can be unforeseen problems. You hear lovely music and forget to continue battling. Look, he's fighting a goat. Battles can be difficult for the untrained, even if you're just fighting a goat. Lay off the rough stuff at first. This was like the pinnacle and beginning of online gaming. This was Ultima Online. The land of Britannia isn't just land. Check your map and you'll see some islands too. They can be strange places though. Look. That's crazy. I think old school stuff like that's crazy, because if you had started at the cusp of all this, you know what I mean? Oh, here's a Resident Evil 2 review. I know a lot of people are into the Resident Evil series. So it looks like, let's see what they got in here. This time you can immediately see how damage your character's taken 3 scenes above. So from left to right, Claire is normal, wounded, in critical states. So she's normal with her hands down, wounded with her hands on her thigh, and critical when she's holding her arm. Resident Evil 2 has more than its share of jolts, like monsters that can punch through walls. You encounter human characters who are creepier than monsters, like the eccentric Irons, the chief of the police. I said chef. Sari and Ada. In addition to Claire and Leon, there will be times that you control other characters in Resident Evil 2. Okay, so that must have been probably something new. I think these are the main characters right here. Leon the rookie. And then, of course, Claire. It wasn't even complete at this point in time. It was only 90% of the way done. Aircraft fighting game right here. Aero Assault, or Aero Fighters Assault. I remember when that little dude came out for the Tekken thing, because I thought he was a cool character to be able to play with a little dinosaur. But I'm not too big into the fighting games. Nintendo's got games. So this was 98's. Hold on. So I guess at the convention it says, although Nintendo had no playable 64DD games at its Space World show in Tokyo, a strong lineup of upcoming Nintendo 64 and Game Boy titles bodes well for American gamers. I can't read tonight. So we have Zelda 64, which I don't believe that's what it actually ended up being named when it finally came out. There's Yoshi's Story here. F-Zero X, which was a classic F-Zero game for Super Nintendo at one point in time. 1080 Snowboarding, which I feel like I remember being good, even though I didn't play that kind of stuff. Banjo-Kazooie, we know that was a hit from just later on in life. We found that out. Mario Artist 64. Don't remember hearing if that even came out, to be honest. Pikachu Genkichi. I don't know what this is at all. I don't know if that was the name of the game or just something that they had. GamePro's annual Reader's Choice Award. Okay, this was the pick, the ballot. This wasn't the actual verdict as far as what actually came out or not. Let's just see which ones there were available at that time. So the best fighting game, you could choose from Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Soul Blade was probably in the running. Marvel Super Heroes was probably in the running, to be honest. Oh, best action adventure at the time was definitely Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's not even a question. Best. Oh, they had it in a category called Corridor Shooter. Probably Doom or GoldenEye. GoldenEye was huge. I still have that game. Best puzzle game at that time, I would have gave to Parappa the Rapper. I thought that was a fun game. Best arcade was Marvel Heroes vs. Street Fighter for sure. I remember playing that in the arcade. And best console game overall was probably Castlevania for me. Ooh, that was the same year as Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, that would have been a hard argument. Final Fantasy VII would have took that for me. VR baseball. That can't be on. Oh, okay, that was just the name of it. I was about to say, was it really virtual reality? Although they did have virtual reality of some sort back then. Gex. I've already talked about Gex in the past. You know, I enjoyed that game. I thought that was pretty fun. It was a little bit weird, but it was fun. All right, here we go. Here's the bread and butter that I like about these things. Just like the stuff that was really coming. So we have a game called Ninja. What was it for? PlayStation. I'm not even sure if I wonder if it became Ninja Gaiden, or if it was really just Ninja, and if it ever even came out. Rascal. Don't remember Rascal. See what I mean when I say these games are like 50% complete, and then you'll or however is 50% right here, and then you'll end up being in a situation like 2 or 3 more episodes or 2 or 3 magazines in the year will have the same review saying like 67% complete or whatever, some weird number. The Burning Rangers, 20% complete. I don't even remember that. That's just for Saturn though. I didn't truly have a Saturn growing up, so that was something I kind of missed. Now, Quake, I remember not Quake for Nintendo 64, but Quake for the PC was something I remember playing. Yeah, I definitely played that because we had friends who had brothers who were really into the PC scene at the time, and they would always hook their stuff up and let us play it. They had like the cool towers and everything at the time. Quake was multi-stream greatness. I mean multi-stream. Multiplayer greatness. Kiss the Abyss. Cardinal Sin? I don't remember that. It looks like a fighting game. Anybody remember this one? It is a fast fighter. At least that's what it says. Yeah, I don't remember this one at all. See, when I see these kind of games and I never remember anything about them, it makes me wonder if they just flopped out or what. You know what I'm saying? I know Dead or Alive didn't because I recognize that name. It's cool to see what was the competition for these two, though, because these are probably very similar fighters at the time about to come out. Alien Resurrection, there was a game for this? Back that long ago? Based on closely on the movie Alien Resurrection. That's kind of cool. Look, it's grabbing her leg right there in the water. Try to get it to focus without the light killing it. Wonder what this was an ad for. Some kind of zombie game, maybe? Oh, Flesh Feast. Kind of reminds me of the Evil Dead guy with the chainsaw. Myth. Oh, I did play this. I played Myth, bro. The Fallen Lord. Use the terrain and plant your archers atop hills whenever possible, and use trees as cover for during attacks. I remember this was an RTS, right? I think this was a real-time strategy guide, or just a real-time game. Yeah, it was a real-time strategy game. I actually enjoyed this game quite a lot. It was like it was weird. It was like you're fighting back hordes of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was just a different. It was like Age of Empires at that time, but with more gore and to me a better storyline. I enjoyed that game. That's crazy. I would have to look into that again. Right there, that was fun. I mean, it probably didn't hold up too well throughout the years. You know what I mean? Dwarves can set grenades on the ground as mines and then trigger them for a chain reaction. It's good protection for a base or a flag. Keep an eye out for stray green dots on your radar screen to keep your army together. Net store. Oh, this was the PC realm right here. Damn. So okay. So we've been looking at graphics, right? So look at how the PC was already starting to shape up better and take a jump ahead in graphics from the consoles, even back that long ago. Like, this stuff looks good. I mean, it don't look great now, but there's stuff that can come out now for the PC probably that, yeah, the PC was already in taking like leaps and bounds of jumping ahead of consoles. But I didn't have this growing up. I didn't have the PC thing. Mortal Kombat 4. What was this, arcade stuff? No, this wasn't arcade, right? What kind of stuff they have? To perform Raiden's fatality, stand next to your opponent and hold block, then tap forward, back, up, high kick. Looks like he electrocutes you. If you're playing as Quan Chi and your opponent pulls out a weapon, steal it by tapping forward, back, high punch. That's kind of cool. Oh, here it is. When playing as Liu Kang, finish off your opponent with the Dragon Fatality from just outside sweep distance. He's eating them. The dragon's eating them. Stage fatalities. They had everything. The controls right here. So you know what it is. High punch, low punch, high kick. Yeah, this might have been arcade right here because the way the joystick is. I assume it eventually came to the console though at some point. Powerboat Racing. VR sports must have been pretty big back in the 90s because here they are again. Just like when they were making those baseball games. Are we getting to the sports section already? You know, I don't really do the sports thing. It's not my bag, baby. Nintendo's Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. Whoa, was this like acted out scenes or something? What is this? Look at this. Unlike the PlayStation version, Mythologies for the Nintendo 64 doesn't feature any full motion cutscene videos. Oh, so Nintendo 64 doesn't have that. I wonder, I don't know, for some reason it doesn't look like a normal Mortal Kombat game. Like here it says, in the water mission, use electric eels to your advantage. For example, freeze a monk, push him into the water, and let the eels do the rest. So yeah, so this wasn't the average Mortal Kombat game. I think this was the Mortal Kombat game that like you kind of moved around 2D style through the levels. You know what I mean? I wonder if GamePro.com's still around. This is only like, what, 98? This is only like 20 years old. One on PlayStation. I don't remember this at all either. WCW Nitro. I got a little bit into the wrestling games. I played a few of them, I can't lie. But they wasn't just always my cup of tea either. Monopoly? I get the feeling that playing Monopoly in 1998 on a console would have just been better to just play the actual game. You know what I'm saying? Once you have properties and houses, don't hurry to get out of jail. You can sit there and collect rent. San Francisco Rush. Ooh, this was the Spawn Eternal game. This is the one that we was looking at just a minute ago. So it says, save your game every time you enter an area just in case you get ambushed. It is all too easy to get your butt kicked in a surprise fight and you can't save during the heat of the battle. There are many times when you can see an enemy before they can see you. There's time to check your health meter and plan your attack. Use the L1 to dodge the Redeemer's cheap blue fireball and the moment the fight begins, or you'll get zapped. Ooh, the fun factor was horrible on everything. Was horrible. The $40. The sound, control, and fun factor. A bunch of uninspired grunts and limp rock music during combat make up the fight soundtrack. Though the atmospheric stuff you hear while wandering around is creepy, still, Resident Evil is a whole lot more foreboding. It'll break every fanboy's heart to read this, but this incarnation of Spawn truly deserves eternal damnation. That does break my heart because I wish they'd make a good game, a good Spawn game. I think the best Spawn's going to do is get to be in Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? Point Blank. I remember that game only because I think you needed the gun to play it. Okay, I think if you remember this one right here, Monster Rancher, we reviewed this like 2 magazines ago, and remember the cartoon was pretty good, but of course you see the ratings for the thing. Before a fight, check your opponent's data for clues on how to beat him. They can also show how you need to train later. Jobs earn cash and build up attributes, but invest in some formal training as soon as you can afford it. Looks like it didn't do too well. Cartoon probably did better. Excalibur, Caesar's Palace. Ironically enough, that's where me and the homie are going for Vegas next year. That's the Vegas trip. We staying at the Caesars. I've been to a bunch of different hotels out there, but I haven't stayed at the Caesars yet. Uh-oh. Sticky pages. What's that about? CPR for gamers. Assess the situation. Is the scene safe? Has the game been saved? Check for unresponsiveness. Gently tap and ask, "Are you okay, dude?" Check the pulse for 10 seconds. Check on groove on side of neck. If no pulse, find compression position lower third of the sternum and breastbone. 2. Give breaths and 15 compressions. Perform 4 cycles in 1 minute. After 1 minute, recheck vitals. Breathe. Dude, this is an actual... this is like, right, the bottom part is no bullshit how you really do CPR. You know what I'm saying? But the top part is just bullshit, it's just BS. Has the game been saved? That's funny. Oh, look. It says, if no pulse or breathing, perform CPR 15 compressions, 2 breaths. If pulse but not breathing, perform rescue breathing, 1 breath every 5 seconds. If pulse and breathing, encourage the victim to wait at least 5 minutes before restarting the game. That was good. That was good advertisement right there. That was smart. Quake, but he was on the Saturn. I played it on the PC at the time. Sonic Racing, is that what that is? Tomb Raider. I remember these commercials for the Tomb Raider games. Snowboard Kids. I think that was a Nintendo 64 game, if I remember. Yeah, it is. I got this weird feeling that I drew one of these characters as a kid. When I was a kid, I feel like I drew one of these characters at some point. Fighting Force. You ever realize how much of these magazines are just full of filler? Posters like this don't come with new checking accounts. Oh man, dude, this must have been a short book. We're already at the GamePro page. I mean, the sports page. And you know me, I blow through the sports page. This is nothing I don't pay attention to. I have no desire, no interest, no commentary for that particular page because I didn't grow up playing any of these games. Even to this day, I don't care for sports games. Oh man, I'm missing a page. Damn, that sucks. Look. This is a page for this. This is a strategy guide. Or no, is this a strategy guide? Dude, this game was fire. I remember this. This was one of my first RPGs. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't possess the visual and auroral magnificence of Final Fantasy VII, which few games will ever accomplish. That is a true statement. Breath of Fire 3 holds up a very enjoyable RPG in which sure craftsmanship is easily evident. Yeah, dude, this was an awesome game. Monsters often have elemental alignments that will make them strong or weak against certain elemental spells and attacks. For example, the mutant plant is weak against fire. I have this game, and I had, at one point in time, I had combine various dragon genes to transform into monsters. Crystals used more powerful, dragon will be. Hey, but I had the strategy at one point in time, and I haven't been able to find a new one to order yet. Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics, like we talked about in the beginning. Is this the game I think it is? Alondra? No, I'm thinking of a game named Azure Dreams. I believe this was a good game, though. I never did play it. I didn't grow up playing this one, but I do remember this being a good game. But the game I'm particularly thinking of is Azure Dreams, where you used to go into castles and look for eggs of monsters to hatch, and then come back into the castle to try to get higher and higher in the level. This is a Sub-Zero fighting game, it looks like. Nintendo and PlayStation and Nintendo 64. Can we admit that the Nintendo 64's controller design was, like, pretty fucking good? I quite enjoyed that thing. Holding it in the middle and only having the hands on the right, usually. I thought it was a great design. Yeah, see, this is like a game. This wasn't your casual Mortal Kombat. This was like a 2D side-scroller going through different various levels where you need to collect items and you fought people as you went through the levels. I think this was a short magazine, guys. This one didn't last too long. Although the reason for it, though, is because we blew through so many things that we've seen in the last few articles already. Tomb Raider 2. Not a bad game. I remember this one. I remember, for some reason, the platforming or the water levels being, like, pretty hard. Can't remember if that was just, like, maybe me sucking at it. Yeah, see? Look, I already remember that. The diving area. I remember this. We had to go through the water and stuff. God, but those were fun, man. It's hard to deny the fun that Tomb Raider brought us. Especially because I think it was kind of like one of the first ones that was starting that trend. You know, like main protagonist through multiple games. Well, I don't know, maybe not, but they did it right though. You know what I mean? Fighter's Edge. This is just the back area. All these magazines had the same formula. So in the back area, they would usually just do a fighting combo list type thing, which is what they've done here. Is just giving you some moves and stuff for various characters. Nothing too special. Same thing. We actually had this very same Fighter's Edge in the other one. I swear to God we did, because we looked at Chewbacca and Han Solo's moves. Because there was a move that when he has a move that cancels out one of Boba Fett's moves. Dang, guys. Well, unfortunately tonight it looks like we had a short one. Doesn't look like it was too much to this one, huh? This was of course, you know how that all these magazines end. This is the very back where they gave you various cheat codes for games, such as Nightmare Creatures for unlimited lives, Cut Body and Play as a Monster, Crash Bandicoot, 10 extra lives, at Warp Room 2, jump repeatedly on the polar bear, and after jumping on the cub 10 times or so, you're rewarded with 10 extra lives. Dude, cheat codes used to be so simple back in the day, right? So simple. Just type this, 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 and this, and you're good to go. Well, looks like tonight's episode is going to end a little bit short, but that's never a bad thing. This magazine kind of, honestly, I felt like it covered a lot of the stuff that we'd already been over before in the last few reviews that we've been doing. So I'm not sure why. Maybe hopefully the next one will have some more content available for it. Hopefully the lighting was a little bit better today. I couldn't quite tell. It just always seems to me like it won't focus up all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as I want it to. But I also think that's just because I'm so far from the camera sometimes. So I appreciate if you hung out with me tonight. And sorry that it didn't go on for too long. But yeah. I appreciate it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll end this out and maybe we'll come back and play a game for a little bit before the end of the night since this was so short. But once again, I thank you for sticking it out with me and hopefully you enjoyed the content. And until next time, guys.